We hit yesterday's like target super comfortably, so let's take a look at Ampharos Orbeetle. Welcome back everyone to more from the Sable Eyes. I'm Mitch, and today, since we hit the like target of 150 likes yesterday, we are going to be taking a look at Ampharos Orbeetle. This list came to me through the Sable Eyes Discord. There's a link down below. This one's from Dark Phoenix, and if you want to check out his stream, then go to the link that's down there as well. He's always up for some interesting decks, and this one is certainly one of them. We'll take a look at it in just a second. Unfortunately, we didn't reach the 1,000 likes yesterday for me to shave my beard off, so I'm not going to offer that again. That's off the table now forever. It's off the table until a video gets 500 likes, and I might consider it. So there you go. Try and get to that one. Good luck. We're going to jump over onto PTCGO now and check out Ampharos Orbeetle. So this is the 60 cards that we're going to be playing with today. I've got Ampharos highlighted here because this is our main attacker in this deck. Ampharos via Lightning type V card with 210 HP, has 2 decent attacks. Dazzle Blast for 2 energy does 50 and our opponent's confused, but the real thing that we want to look at here is Damaging Spark. It deals 120 damage to the opponent's active, and then does 30 to each of our opponent's benched Pokemon that have damage counters on it. So how are we going to get those damage counters there? We're going to try and use Orbeetle VMAX. We've already seen this with Sableye. This is another way to get some benefit out of the VMAX's ability. Eerie Beam means that we can put 1 damage counter on every single one of our opponent's Pokemon once per turn per Orbeetle. And we've also got G-Max Wave, does 50 plus 50 for every energy attached to our opponent's Pokemon for a grass and a colorless. And as you can see in our energy, we have 3 grass energy just in case we do need to attack with that Orbeetle. It can come up occasionally. Most of our energy though is going to be 3 speed lightning and 7 basic lightning, so we can get some value out of Pokemon like Boltund V. If we go second, which I do like doing, then Electrify is the attack to use. Bolt Storm is also potentially an option. We also have Tapu Koko to accelerate basic energy to our Ampharos as well. This 3 energy cost is a little bit hard to get. You could potentially go for like an Electrode engine, but I think that the Pokemon that we've got at the moment are pretty suitable. We've got enough time to get going that it shouldn't be too big of a problem. We also have 2 copies of Dedenne and 1 copy of Crobat. It's our hand extension cards to try and draw some more cards throughout our turns. And we've also got quite a few interesting supporters as well, besides the 4 research and the 4 Marnie that we usually play, as well as the 2 boss that we usually play. We also have 3 copies of Bird Keeper. This can be incredibly powerful in this deck specifically, because we want to move between those Orbeetles. Bird Keeper can also get the Boltund out of the active, as can our 4 copies of Switch. And we also have 2 copies of U-Turn Board, which we can attach to our Orbeetle to try and move freely between them. It can be very, very useful. We can get multiple ticks of damage off of Orbeetle per turn, and then put some extra damage on with Damaging Spark. We've also got the new Telescopic Sight card, which gives extra damage to our Ampharos. Every single V or GX Pokemon on our opponent's side of the field, instead of taking 30 damage if they've already taken some damage throughout the game, they will take 60, and this can add up very, very quickly to the point where we're knocking out things like Dedenne in almost 2 hits. Like, we're putting a lot of pressure on those Pokemon on the bench. We're going to force our opponent to respond. We do need to find Pokemon early, so obviously Quick Ball and Pokecom and Incense are all good cards to include. We've got a 4-2-2 line of them. We can search out energy with 2 copies of Viridian Forest. And we also have Energy Switch, which can potentially create some really interesting situations in this game. Now, you'll notice that we've got 3 Pokemon that have 2 energy attack costs, which means that we can potentially power each of these up in a single turn, but mainly we're going to use Energy Switch for Orbeetle VMAX, so that we can power up G-Max Wave in a turn and take a big knockout out of nowhere. So keep on the lookout for that. Obviously, Ampharos is our main attacker, but Orbeetle, we've seen before, can deal some pretty significant damage. What we'll do is we'll jump out onto the ladder and we'll see if we can't get a game where this thing actually works. I forgot to hit record. Whoops. We are in a game. We've got Ampharos. We've got two of them, Orbeetle as well. This is actually a really, really good start, and we are going to be playing up against Inteleon here, which is a pretty interesting matchup. We should be able to deal with this quite comfortably because obviously Inteleon is weak to lightning, so damaging Spark is going to be just that little bit more powerful. Going to be able to get that little bit more of a power kind of creep. We're going to be able to move forward quickly. Let's put this speed lightning energy on the Ampharos. We'll see what we can find. We've got a Orbeetle, which is good. We've got a Pokemon. We can get rid of that, what do we call it, that Crobat. We can actually make a pretty significant play here. Let's grab Viridian Forest. We can quick ball away the Marnie. We can grab ourselves Boltund as well. And then we can play Professor's Research. And actually what we could have done there, to guarantee that we get the attack with the Boltund, is we could have tried to get an energy in the bin earlier, but that's okay. We didn't find Switch anyway. We are in an interesting position here. We have no way of getting out of the active, but we do have some energy in the discard pile, which is pretty good. We are going to lose lots of our grass energy here. Only playing 3 of those means that this research will kind of lock us out of using Orbeetle VMAX this game, but we don't really want to. We want to mainly focus on our lightning attackers, Inteleon VMAX. If we hit into that with damaging Spark, that's 240 damage, which is a pretty decent chunk of damage, to be honest. I don't think that we could ever say no to dealing that amount of damage. Plus, if our opponent does... Well, they're going to hit this Crushing Hammer, maybe. They didn't. If our opponent does... Oh my god, they're going again. I will get my sentence out in a second, but I just need to see this Crushing Hammer flip. Okay, I was about to say if they do get their Inteleon into the active, we can potentially attack into them with Dazzle Blast. But, unfortunately, that is not going to happen. And we are being Marnied here, so we have lost access to this hand, which was... debatably good or bad. I probably could have played the U-turn board down before that turn, but I just didn't do it, frankly. But this is okay. We've got Bird Keeper, which we can use to get into Boltund. We've got Viridian for the grass energy, so it's not like it's the end of the world here. Not the grass energy, the lightning energy. We want to get that into play. Unfortunately, their Inteleon is going to be able to set up some damage here, but the Hydro Snipe damage on the active is not that big of a deal, so we're not too worried about it. And we actually get very lucky here to top deck a Lightning Energy, which could be the second Lightning Energy that we put in the discard pile so that Tapu Koko gets a bit of extra value. We do need to grab the... oh, what am I doing? That's alright, we can fix this. We can dance to the Ancients. I don't know why I grabbed the grass. I should have just grabbed the Lightning. I obviously needed the Lightning Energy. Let's just put the grass on the Orbeetle. Whatever. We forget that happened. Let's Bird Keeper. Okay, we've got an energy switch, so it's not the end of the world. We will play down the U-turn board now. Then Electrify. We'll grab 2 lightnings out of the deck and put them both onto the fresh Ampharos. Actually, no, we can split them up because we've got the energy switch and the grass in hand. And that's the good thing about Ampharos, is that it has 2 lightning and a colorless attack cost. So even in decks like this, where you are playing Orbeetle and potentially attacking with it, it's not the end of the world because you can use that extra energy as well. Now, we are in a weird position here where our opponent is going to be able to get a bit of a head start on us. They're going to hit into this Boltund with Max Bullet, and then they'll probably put 60 onto the Ampharos, which makes a lot of sense. Our best case scenario here is finding a Switch and a Orbeetle VMAX off of this research. But first we'll play down the Telescopic Sight. We do want to try and get some extra damage counters down if we can. I'm going to put the grass on the active, just because then we are at least guaranteed an attack, and then we can research. We would have actually been able to get into it there, so we could have started attacking with Ampharos, but that's okay. We'll just switch into Orbeetle here, we'll Eerie Beam, and then I will retreat into the Boltund, probably. Or do we go for it? Do we just run the... Nah, we've got to retreat into Boltund. I set it up to play the safe game, so I'm going to play the safe game. We will hit into this for 260 damage, and next turn we can potentially use Ampharos to knock this out. And if we find Boss, we could actually knock out this Inteleon on the bench because of the Telescopic Sight. So this seems like, actually in hindsight, probably a better play. I didn't set out to make this attack, but I think it will work out for the best, because now our Ampharos on the bench will survive, and we will potentially be able to get that knockout on the Inteleon VMAX. So, you know, sometimes it pays to be stupid, guys. Sometimes if you make bad plays, it's because you're a good player without realizing. So there you go. We are going to get knocked out here. And looks like they're going to put 60 damage on the Orbeetle, which is an interesting choice. It's not the choice that I would have gone for. But that's okay. I'm not playing the game. My opponent is. We've got Orbeetle in the active, which means we can potentially get some extra damage on the field. But I want to go for the knockout with Boss so that we can get extra prizes. So I'm gonna risk it here. We're gonna Dedenne this hand away. Our opponent has a big one. We could potentially Marnie, but if we hit Boss, we are in such a good position. So let's grab this last energy. We're just going to throw it away and try and grab the Boss. If we get it, I think we win. We do find the Boss. Let's Eerie Beam. We can then retreat into the... Actually, we could... do we want a Quick Ball and Thin? No. I think we just want to retreat into our Ampharos. Then what we can do is we can play down the Telescopic Sight and then boss up the Inteleon VMAX on our opponent's side of the field. Now we're going to be able to Damaging Spark. We'll be able to knock out the benched Inteleon VMAX and put this Inteleon within range of being knocked out by our Pokemon in some way, shape, or form. Next turn we can potentially use Orbeetle or Ampharos to get the knockout on this thing. And if they do retreat, then that's fine by me. They are not going to be able to get away from us attacking. So I like this play a lot. I don't know if there's realistically any way for our opponent to get out of this unless they flip a multitude of heads on Crushing Hammer. But even then, we have Bird Keeper into Orbeetle, into Ampharos for Dazzling Bolt, which will take the knockout. They're going to boss up probably... They're going for the Ampharos, fair enough. That means we probably hold on to our hand here unless we see a reset stamp. If we hold on to our hand, then we win the game. We've got Bird Keeper and we can just take the knockout. They're going to Hydro Snipe. Beautiful stuff. Now what we can do is we can Bird Keeper into our Ampharos and then just attack with any attack we like, and we will knock out the Inteleon. And there you go. Turns out going for that Boss was the right play after all. Taking 6 prizes with 2 knockouts from Ampharos V. Let's go on to another one. I figured that we don't really need to see the coin flip because everyone knows how this game works. So I'm just gonna lay it out there. I'm gonna try this out by just skipping that first minute. Like the video if you want me to keep doing that. If I get 100 likes, I will keep doing that. I don't know if that's a good idea though, right? Comment down below. Tell me, do you want to see the coin flip? Like, we know my opponent's going first, and they're playing Charizard. Charizard. We're in a pretty good spot, though. Like, we've got Speed Lightning, we've got Marnie. We don't have access to a Ampharos yet. That is such a bad 2 cards to Speed Lightning into. I'm going to Marnie. I'm going to hope that we get a Pokemon. Otherwise, I can bolt into myself an Orbeetle. It's fine. This is actually a really good hand. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious me. We can get rid of this Orbeetle to grab ourselves an Ampharos. We can play that down. We can play down the Tapu Koko if we like as well. And we can also Dedenne for some extra cards, which I like. So let's do that. We've gone from not a lot to having quite a lot. Then we can Electrify. Let's grab a couple of energy out of the deck, put them on the Ampharos, and next turn we are set and ready to go. We've got Speed Lightning in hand. We've got Bird Keeper. We've got Marnie, we've got Boss, so literally anything that our opponent does here, we are going to be in a good position to deal with. If they get rid of energy, then we can Tapu Koko them back. The worst thing that can happen for us is that they gust out the Tapu Koko and then knock it out, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. A Welder being played from our opponent for a single energy, grabbing 3 extra cards, and they are looking for those critical pieces in Charizard, Rare Candy, Charizard, and Leon. They want to get rid of Leons if they can. But yeah, I'm sitting pretty good here. I'm liking this setup. We've got at least 5 cards next turn if we want them. So, we're going straight into our turn here, and this is very easy. Okay, let's go with, what are we going to do here? Let's actually, we can, oh, what I should have done is oh my goodness. I could have just gusted out, that's okay. I'm just going to keep playing here. We'll put a Grass Energy in the discard pile. Let's Bird Keeper into Ampharos, and then Damaging Spark, I guess. We can Quick Ball, actually. Let's get rid of a Marnie, and we can grab another Orbeetle? Ampharos? Let's grab another Orbeetle. No, let's grab another Ampharos, because we've got the Tapu Koko. So next turn, we can get full value out of that Koko, because we've got 1 energy in the bin. Let's Damaging Shock. I should have knocked out the Charmeleon that turn. I had boss's orders. I should have just gusted the Charmeleon and attacked with Boltund, but I didn't because I'm a dumbhead. And now, my opponent potentially knocks out this Ampharos and puts us in a really bad spot. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is how not to play Pokemon cards. When you see that your opponent has only 1 attacker in the field of play, knock out the attacker. Don't knock out the support Pokemon. The support Pokemon is nothing. It achieves nothing, and you just feel sad. You just feel sad afterwards. So, hey, if we didn't learn anything, then what would the point of this whole thing be? Let's have a think. What's our best route to victory here? One of the issues that we're going to have is that Charizard can obviously gust up Orbeetle VMAX and quite easily knock it out. So we're going to need to attack with Ampharos and Boltund, which is fair enough. Like, they're the cards that we probably want to use regardless. But we do need to be aware of that, just in case something crazy happens. Hopefully we don't see the Charizard this turn. It doesn't look like we're seeing it. We're seeing the Leon getting discarded. That's their second one. They will need to actually play a Leon to get a knockout on this Ampharos or discard another. So we have that going for us, which is good. Gonna see a Heat Fire Energy going onto the Charmander on the bench. Are we gonna see the Charizard, or have we been saved from our own bad play? We may well have been saved from disaster. They're just going to Raging Flames. Sure thing. They're going to discard 3 cards from the top of their deck. And we are in all sorts of positive territory now. We can find the Orbeetle with that Incense that we top decked. Then we can Bird Keeper into that Orbeetle because we've got a switch, so we can do this pretty easily. We can, let's see, how many energy do we have? We could play down this grass onto the Ampharos, maybe? Maybe we play the lightning onto the Ampharos. Then we can dance with the Ancients. We can put that onto the Ampharos, the energy that was in the bin. Actually, we could have quick balled then and got an extra energy in play, but that's fine. We will quick ball away the Research, and we grab ourselves another Orbeetle. We may as well whilst we're here, because we're pretty set with energy now. Let's Eerie Beam, deal some damage to those bench Pokemon, then we can switch into Ampharos and use Damaging Spark to knock out the active and deal 30 to both of our opponent's benched Pokemon. We take 1 prize, which is a switch. That's a pretty good one to get. And next turn, even if they do knock us out with Charizard, we have an Ampharos, which will do 120 damage, which I think knocks out a Charizard. I think Charizard has 150? I don't know. Reset Stamp's a bit awkward, though, so now we could potentially be punished for not having that extra energy. Hopefully we're okay. We've got Marnie, U-turn board, Crobat, so if they do knock us out with a Charizard this turn, we at least have some response to that. We can Crobat and U-turn and all sorts of stuff, so we're looking okay. It's just a matter of can we maintain our position in the game? Can we get knockouts that we need? We need to take a ton of knockouts to win this one. We need to take 3 KOs. And I think they're going to have to be on the Pokemon that are already in play. So hopefully we can get ourselves going. And to be fair, we're probably not going to be able to do it this turn. So we'll see. Here comes Battle Sense from Charizard. They've discarded 2 cards off the top of the deck. 3 cards from the top of the deck. They'll take 1, discard 2. And then what are we going to see? Oranguru and Charmeleon. Okay, so they're going to be in a position now where they can pretty much set up whatever attackers they need for the rest of the game. We need to get some value out of this Orbeetle. I think we need to get 2 ticks from Orbeetle VMAXs this turn, and an energy on an Ampharos, because we really need to knock this Charizard out. Comes an energy. and then Primate Wisdom to grab another card off of the top deck. We are going to see the Royal Blaze. That is going to happen. We're going to promote Orbeetle VMAX with the U-turn board. That is 100% guaranteed to happen. So let's do that. Let's think here. We're going to be on 50. We're going to do 120. So we knock out here, which is good. We can Eerie Beam. We can play down the U-turn board. I like the Marnie. Let's get rid of the research. I will not grab any extra cards because I want to draw off of this Crobat. Let's draw 5 of the Crobat. No energy, but we do have a switch, so we can get some extra ticks going, which is good. So let's retreat into the Orbeetle and then Eerie Beam. That'll get us closer to knocking out one of these basics, but we will need to find the energy. And I do want a Marnie, but the research gives us better odds. We risk it, let's risk it. It gives them less cards to work with. And we found an energy, so that's perfect. Oh, it works out. It always works out. It never fails. And we also got the Telescopic Sight as well, which is good. And it's a Speed Lightning, which is also good. Let's play down... No, the Telescopic Sight doesn't go there. The U-turn board goes there. Then we can Damaging Spark, which will knock out the active and put 30 on everything on the... Oh my god, they actually don't get knocked out because they have the Heat Fire. Okay. So they're on 10, which means that next turn we will be able to knock it out with an Orbeetle. So that's good. And actually, this isn't too bad. This is not too bad. It could be really bad, but it's not too bad. Actually, this is really bad. Okay, so I'm just trying to think here. We're going to take a prize with Orbeetle VMAX, putting a damage counter down. That's for certain. If this Ampharos survives, I think we win. But that would require them to have only 2 Leons in the discard pile. Now, I know they only have 2 at the moment. But they probably just put one on top. Battle Sense will discard 2 cards and take 1 from the top 3. What will it be? Come on. What is it? What's it going to be? What's it going to be here, guys? Come on. No Leon. Okay. Do we survive? I'm going to play down another Charmander, which I don't like. Royal Blaze, we live. I think we're going to win. Let's have a think. We want to retreat, right? So what we're going to do, I'm going to attach the Lightning to the Boltund. Then I'm going to research. And hopefully we find a switch. We find 2 switches. Oh. I mean, we don't need 2 switches because I think we win regardless, but I'm going to play them all. We're going to take the prize on the active Charizard with an Orbeetle, and then we're going to retreat into the second Orbeetle, and we're going to knock out that Charmander that's on the bench. Which is perfect. Eerie Beam knocks out the Charmander, and then even if we didn't have the Telescopic Sight, we'd be able to knock out the Oricorio on the bench. Oh, but we found the Telescopic Sight off of the top deck anyway. We will switch into the Ampharos and then Damaging Spark. Whew! Look at that. We somehow managed to get out of that one. They must have had Leon's prized. Then that's the only way that happens. Up against a fire deck here. Not entirely sure exactly what it could be. Victini is not really being played in a lot of decks at the moment. But that's okay. We've got a pretty decent hand. We've got an Orbeetle. It's Center Scorch. Okay. Alright, so Orbeetle could potentially be a pretty good attacker in this matchup, especially if they go for a fat Center Scorch and try and set up one big attacker, thinking that we have no answer for it. That could be a play. So, what do we got? Oh, this Evo Incense I kind of don't care about, but I don't want the Orbeetle to be discarded, so let's get rid of that. We'll grab the Boltund, because now we can play that down, we can switch into it. And then we can Dedenne. We're looking for 1 energy, preferably Speed Lightning. That would be great. Regular lightning is acceptable. We can play down Orbeetle, we can play down Ampharos, we can play down an energy, and then we can play down a research. Go through our deck a little bit more. No Pokemon search here. I want to leave this bench space open, just in case we have Tapu Koko. So I'm just going to electrify. We won't worry about the other Orbeetle just yet. We don't want to give our opponent too many easy prizes. And now we've got ourselves a situation where potentially we could get an attack off next turn, but it is unlikely that we will see an Orbeetle VMAX just yet. It is unlikely that that comes into play. But then again, they will need a little bit of good luck here because they've attached to the Victini. They need to find a Switch and a Welder to get anything happening with the Center Scorch. And realistically, the Center Scorch is only going to be dealing a little bit anyway. They're going to just spreading flames, which is fair enough. And they'll move 2 energy onto the Center Scorch from the discard pile. Alright, and there's that Tapu Koko, so now we really can't do anything but play that down. We do have an energy in the discard pile, which is good, so we could potentially pop that now if we wanted to. I think it's probably the safest thing to do, just to attach to the Ampharos, and then I think we just guarantee ourselves a switch, right? We can play down Orbeetle and then Bird Keeper. That feels like it's probably the smartest play. Let's quick ball away a research first. What do we have access to? We got a second Orbeetle here. That seems fine. We've only got 1 site. Let's play down an Orbeetle. Then I'm going to Bird Keeper's guaranteed. We at least get to attack. Okay, so we've got a couple of things that are decent. We probably don't need to do too much else apart from just damaging Spark. That'll put this Victini... actually, we should play down the U-turn board. We can put this Victini within range of being knocked out by a damaging Spark. Next turn, we have the Boss, so we can boss up the Center Scorch if we like. It is unlikely that this Center Scorch knocks out the Ampharos this turn, although not impossible. It is actually very possible for that to happen. So do not be surprised if they do manage to get it going. They will need a Welder though. If they Welder 2 energy on and then attach and evolve and retreat, they'd probably get the knockout because that would be 6 times 4, which is 240. No, they're not getting it, so they're just going to energy burst. That's actually really good for us. Do we gust or do we just research? I think we gust. If we put the telescopic sight on the active, we gust out. We could just gust out the... Oh, that would be a cheeky play. Let's think. Okay, I'm gonna try and get some damage off. I'm gonna try and find an Orbeetle VMAX. We found him. We found him, fellas. We've got 2 Orbeetle VMAXs here, which means we're now going to be able to get some extra damage on the board, which I don't mind. And we can speed lightning as well, which I really like. We've got an energy switch, so I might move the energy from the Boltund across to this Ampharos, then attach the U-turn board, and then we've got Eerie, what is it called? Eerie Thingamajig? Eerie, what's we call it? Beam? And then we go into Ampharos and damaging Spark, which will do some damage. It was probably still a smarter move to half hit that Center Scorch, but oh, I should have held on to the the thing. Oh no, the energy switch. Because I could have made the cheeky play. They're gonna stack up this now. Oh no. GMAX Centerferno. This is okay. We can still find it. We can still find it. We've got the grass energy in hand, so we can still find an energy switch to destroy this Center Scorch. Because they've got 5 energy on there. We're going to do 300 damage. We would have knocked it out with just 4. Let's put the Orbeetle forward. Hopefully we... Oh my god, we just top decked into it. Let's Eerie Beam. Sometimes it's just good. Sometimes it's just good. So we can Eerie Beam twice. We can, well, let's think here. Is it worth doing anything other than, like, obviously we're going to use the combo. We're going to get ourselves our energy switch into our Orbeetle. But do we do anything else? Do we Marnie? I think we Marnie. Give them as few cards as possible when we take out their only attacker with damage, with energy on it. This seems like a smart move. We are in a bit of a risky situation now, though, because we don't have access to another attacker just yet. Viridian Forest is good. That's brilliant. Telescopic Sight is okay. And Energy is good. Okay, so I think even if they knock this Orbeetle out, which they are unlikely to do, as long as we keep our current hand, we'll win the game. Let me tell you why. We've got Eerie Beam, which will put 10 damage on this Volcanion, then we can Gust and knock it out with Ampharos' first attack. That seems like the way to go. But our opponent is, you know, they're playing Center Scorch. It's a good deck. They could do pretty much anything here. Getting rid of 2 switches is not great, though. They want to get this Volcanion out of the active, preferably with a scoop-up net for them, I'd say. If they can get it out of the active with a scoop-up net, then that's their best-case scenario. I'm going to grab a Center Scorch VMAX with the Great Ball. You presume that they've got a Pokemon in hand. No, another Great Ball. Fair enough. Grab a Center Scorch. Okay, what's their plan? They're going to Quick Ball, get rid of Pokegear. They're going to grab a Crobat, you'd think. Try and draw some more cards. One of those cards is a VMAX. Eldegoss. Okay, maybe they're going for Welder? They must have a switch in hand. They're playing like a guy who already has a switch out. There goes a boss. Okay, alright. Here comes the Eldegoss. We can actually just knock out with G-Max Wave. I just realised that if we have Grass Energy. Boss. Okay, they're going to boss up what? What are they going to boss? What do they boss? They don't boss anything. They just Crobat for 2. And then they Welder. Seems weird. They do find a switch though, so they aren't going to be able to use Center Scorch. Radiating Heat, they'll discard our Grass Energy. We have other Grass Energies left, so we could go hunting for them if we want. But we do have game now locked in hand. All we need to do is boss, attach, and then use Eerie Beam. Let's just check our deck just to see if we had the grass. We had one, yeah, so we could have gone looking for it if we wanted to. There's nothing else really that we need. Obviously, there's no stage 1s in here. Let's use our Eerie Beam. Please don't forget to do that. Then we can boss up this Volcanion and then retreat into the Ampharos and Dazzle Blast for knockout. Our final prize, we managed to beat Center Scorch VMAX, which frankly I was not expecting. That's pretty solid stuff. So there you have it. Ampharos Orbeetle is actually a pretty solid deck. It's not a top tier deck by any stretch, but it is definitely fun. And there's a lot of gameplay that you can kind of wrap your fingers around, make it your own. There's a lot of combos you can pull off. That Orbeetle attack against Center Scorch being one of those combos that you can pull off out of nowhere and really surprise your opponent. Thank you very much to Dark Phoenix for suggesting this list. It was really, really good fun. Thank you very much for coming along. I appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video. I think I went a couple of times with a like target. I can't remember exactly what they were. I think it was 100 likes for skipping the coin flip. Thank you everyone for coming along, and I'll see you next time for more from the Sableyes. Bye.